Well, keeping the mood light up and so forth. A little guest lecture in comedy for you here. We have... I'm going to introduce him to you right now, a man who clearly from his wardrobe is interested in life, liberty, and the pursuit of something. Will you welcome Mr. Dave Letterman?
That's great. You notice, he's wearing the squirting carnation, and he's making fun of the way I'm dressed. How many of you folks have never been here before? Applaud if you've never been here before. How many of you have been here before now? Applaud if you have been here before. Okay, now, how many of you who have never been here before are tonight here with somebody who has been here before? Applaud if... I know it's a little confusing, so listen carefully now. Here we go. How many of you out of that last group are in this country illegally? Hey, great. Looking for kitchen work, I'll bet. Well, nice to have you here. My name is Dave Letterman, and originally I'm from the state of Indiana. And you know, when I was growing up, the one thing that I'll never forget, what I'll always remember as long as I live, is when Dad used to tease me with the power tools. Did that happen to you folks a lot? What a wonderful sense of humor he had, you know. And gosh, I'm still scared of that router. I don't know. I can't hardly walk through the hardware department at Sears anymore without Indiana, for those of you who may not know this, at the time, well, maybe even now, was not too socially, politically progressive. And I went to a high school that was very white, very middle class, very conservative. And a typical assembly at this high school, you know, we'd all go down to the auditorium and listen to some inner city gym teacher talk about actually having seen a black person. That would be a big day for us. The entire student body would sit there slack-jawed and wonder, you know, what do they eat, Coach? Can you tame them? Not a very hip viewpoint, you know. Now I'm living in Los Angeles, actually Hollywood, you know. And a lot of people think Hollywood is kind of a dump, run-down, filthy, disgusting. I don't know. I have a nice house, quiet little neighborhood, right across the street from a porno bakery. And around the corner from the North Hollywood Tattoo Spelling Error Correction Clinic. That's a nice... Late at night, old fat men stumbling in there, "Born too loose," tattooed across their chest. It's an awful sight. There's a lot of crime there. I guess there's a lot of crime everywhere. When I left, they were advertising you can buy these locks for your windows, your home, your door, and so forth. And the guy advertising the locks says, "These locks have been police tested." So what, you know? I mean, wouldn't you rather they had been burglar tested? Any cop in the world would take a look at the lock and go, "Why, no, it'd take a key to get this baby open." Criminals aren't that smart. Yeah. Here nice to be back in Canada. I noticed one thing, though, you have which is very nice. You have a lot of very tall women. Any tall women here tonight? How tall are you, just for the heck of it? 5'7". So, well, not exactly a redwood, but tall enough for our purposes here. I'm sure the show has a lovely gift for you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Anyway, I used to go out with a girl who was a little taller than that. She was 6 feet tall, and, you know, people don't know how to respond or react when they see tall women, and they'd always run up to her and say things like, "Oh, you move about so easily." Like, if you're a tall girl, you got to be a slobbering hulk who bounces off cars and trees and stuff. And, well, look, there goes Dave and his date. "Oh, my God, it's Bigfoot." "Tell you what, son, run over there, poke her with a stick. I'll try to get a picture of her here. Maybe rub a little meat on the windshield, get her down to the car, all right? I'll notify the ranger." Now, a lot of times when guys go out with girls, tall or regardless of their size, actually, they use a lot of cheap gimmicks, you know, to try and, well, score, like bringing them to a TV show on a Friday night. But I don't do that. Whenever I go out with a girl, it's always the same procedure. We'll go to dinner, a show, then back to my apartment where I slip into a pair of my magnifying shorts. But that's about all I'm here to do there. Well, let's see. I was back at the hotel tonight before I came over here watching television, Channel 11 or something. I love editorials. They always pretend to be so controversial, you know. And it gives the station manager a chance to get on the air. And this guy always looks good. He had on like a $4 toupee and an $8 suit. And he comes out and he says, Channel 11 would like to take this opportunity to say that we are diametrically opposed to the practice of using orphans as yardage markers at driving ranges. We're just... A lot of places, like in Los Angeles now, the trend, and maybe everywhere, the trend is to have real friendly, funny newscasters. And a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a guy doing the headlines in Los Angeles, and he said, Los Angeles mauler has not claimed a victim in over 6 weeks. Police department absolutely baffled. Speaking on behalf of the entire Eyewitness News team, gosh, I hope the little fella's not ill. You know, it finally occurred to me, I was watching some television, and the way people are represented on TV is not too accurate. There's a good commercial where the husband lies to his wife about dandruff shampoo. Pretty sound basis for a marriage, huh? Why, no, honey, I'm sorry. We're all out of dandruff shampoo. Now, here, try some of this stuff. No, that's driveway sealer. Thank you, folks, very much.
This is Ricky Jay. This is Dave Letterman, and I am not. Won't you sit down?
Sure.
And explain...
Oh, let me explain one thing. I was told to speak...
Explain those two things.
Well, these are my shoes. What do you ever... Shoes are shoes, you know?
I wondered what that was.
But I was advised by the staff here to speak very slowly on behalf of the viewers in Brandon, Manitoba, so...
Well, for my last night in Canadian television, or television anywhere...
Here, watch this.
You...
There you go. He'll go for anything, won't he? He likes shiny objects. What about this?
You speak a lot about television.
Yeah.
You have a kind of jaundiced eye. Is that anything to do with the fact that you were once part of that big eyewitness team as
I was.
as a weatherman?
Yeah, it's a pretty silly exercise. They do just moronic things. They... I can remember I was a weatherman primarily, and they said, they came in running in about 20 minutes before airtime, and they said, Dave, you know, it's been snowing all day, so we've got the film of the snow. We want you to use that. I said, wait a minute, is this for people who've been unconscious in their basements all day, or? Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. See those big white things falling out of the sky? That's snow. Silly. Was out at the ballpark today. Excuse me for just a second. Oh, I never drank so much beer in my entire life.
What ballpark were you at?
Why, I don't understand this. All the way coming in from the airport, there's about 18 different breweries. What's the deal at the ballpark? You can't suck down a couple of beers.
I don't know.
Well, let's go out there and turn the dump over. What do you say?
Can I reverse the procedure there for a minute?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that in.
Yeah, sure. We were here once before, and as you were leaving, not that I'm suggesting you do that yet, this is one of those, really, a funny thing happened on my way to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Not me.
Oh, you know, how many of you were expecting a great story from him? Yeah, coming in from, well, no, actually, as a matter of fact, flying out here, every time I come here, something odd happens. There is an American Airlines, not that that's the name of it, but an American Airlines that has like a television camera inside the cockpit. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I've seen those,
yeah.
Sure.
So you, the stooge passengers, get to sit there and watch them land and take off the plane. Now, I swear to goodness, the last time I was leaving the Toronto airport, they had the thing turned on, and we were a little late because they were de-icing the aircraft. And I don't know if I can turn it around. This is close enough. Anyway, the captain is saying, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be flying about 37,000 feet on and on and on and on and on. We're all looking over the guy's shoulder, see? And a few minutes into his little speech, over his right-hand shoulder, I see a hand puppet. A furry little bunny rabbit waving to the passengers. And then this guy, like he's surprised, says, well, hey, look who we have here. It's my old buddy Thumper. Now, the wave of confidence that swept over my body, a 300,000-pound aircraft, we have Kukla, Fran, and Ollie in the cockpit. Oh, I'll tell you something. Now,
Because it's all automatic. You see, they've got to do something to
those guys.
entertain
But
themselves.
something curious happened. Now, I don't know how entertaining or amusing this will be, but flying out here this time, to give you an idea of the kind of things that have happened, a man expired. A guy died.
That's funny.
Holding that rabbit?
No, not the same guy.
Oh, not the same guy. It's another person.
No, and it was real interesting. It was just as well they had lost his luggage anyway, as I found out.
Now, is it because you're a comedian that funny things seem to happen to you, or?
I don't know. These are the only real two funny things that have ever happened to me in my life. The rest of this is all made up.
That was not
No,
true
it doesn't
about
have
the
to be
high
true.
school
No, you don't have to
in,
sign any.
in
No.
Indianapolis
Oh yeah,
or anything like that?
that stuff was true. But as far as day-to-day funny stuff, those are lately about. Oh, you know, I was noticing your money. What was that? I thought I heard the Canadian dollar drop.
You noticed our money, all right. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, fool around with Brandon, will you?
Anyway, they had.
I'd like you to know that the Brandon Glee Club is in our audience tonight.
Put on your shoes and go home. You have pictures of people on your money that in the United States, American money is all former dead presidents, and on the $1 bill, I notice you have a female. It's kind of, she's not a knockout, but nonetheless a female. It's kind of nice.
Her Majesty has always spoken well of you.
I saw her at the ballpark.
Well, say something funny about the rain in California.
Well, as you may or may not know this, we had a great deal of rain the last 6 or 8 weeks. In Los Angeles, Southern California especially, they don't know how to react to the rain. And they got so much rain this time that the guys, the newscasters were coming on and they were saying, wait a minute. Oops, I've just been handed a bulletin. It's raining in Los Angeles. And KNBC will stay on the air just as long as that rain continues to fall. Let's go out to Pasadena now for a special rain report where they've had over 8/100ths of 1 inch in the past 48 hours. On the other hand there, you know, they get earthquakes all the time.
Do they stay on the air for that?
Sure, they treat the earthquakes like they're practical jokes. You hear guys saying, hey, had kind of a crazy thing happen downtown today. Yes, sir, another one of those pesky earthquakes. Leveled an 8-block area. Now back to the news. It's still raining in Pasadena tonight.
Did you ever think of taking out your collector's your collection of snow footage and show that?
Yeah, that would have
shake them up?
been quite useful, certainly.
Do that on April Fool's Day.
Every now and then it does rain, or snow rather, in Southern California, and people get dim-witted, a little more so than they are normally.
It's done for the Canadian community that is, as you probably know, very large in Southern California. A lot of our very fondly remembered and talented people are down there, and we send it over once a year to make them feel.
And Southern California is quite a haven for hockey, of course, now that the Kings have defeated the Leafs in 2 straight. So
yeah.
It's a little hockey quiz, folks. Keep your seats if you don't mind.
Mr. J, do you want to ask him anything?
Yes.
Well, will you?
No.
Oh, you won't. Well, let's
Learn to
see
keep
now.
quiet in this
You
situation.
have.
It's almost an insult, isn't it? It was a lot like an insult, but not quite.
Well, the differences are quite obvious to us.
Would you like? Could I make up to you by giving you my carnation?
No, that's all right. Thanks anyway.
I see.